Hi, this is Patrick, and in this video I want to talk about creating shapes that have editable text. That being that once you drop it on the screen, you're prompted to enter in some information. So this could be useful for creating a title block or other sorts of blocks of information that you use to capture text on the diagram. So you can always have it look consistent, always be in the same place, and it can also have some elements that aren't changed and some that can be changed. So I'm going to talk about that by first showing it to you. So I'm going to grab one that I created here called Client, and I tap it, and once I drop it on the screen, it immediately then asks me the questions to fill in. So I'm going to put in save that. Now if I zoom in, you can see that that text has been replaced. Had I not filled it in, it would have remained blank. And we'll also talk about during the creation side how you can have default text in here as well. So I've done that. If I then wanted to change that I've already done, there's now, when one of these types of shapes is selected, there's a button on the left that's called Shape Labels. So if I tap on that, I see it comes back up and I can make a change. And there you go. So let's get rid of that and let's talk about how you create those. Like any other creation of a shape, you have to draw something on the screen or have something on the screen. So I'm going to draw a rectangle here. I'm going to add a couple of text elements. I'll put in name. Oops, didn't want to do that. Go ahead and drag that up here. Go ahead, another one. And obviously you might spend a little time making this look nicer, but I'm just going to do this quickly here. Quickly is a relative term. Grab that and put that in there. Okay, it is bugging me that this is not lined up. So I'll line it up a little bit. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to save this as a shape, and I simply do what I typically do. I select the things I want as a shape, click on my Create Shape over here on the left, give it a name, and you can fill in you can do the common things you already could do with a shape. I'll, in this case, remember the size and unit. But now if you look at the bottom, I have one that says Editable Shape Label. So if I come in here, I can see that all three text elements could be something that I could say I want to change once I get there. So I'm going to do that here. Here and here. Before I move on, there's an additional piece here. I have a default text that I can use, which defaults to empty. But let's say that I want to come in here and under my info, I want to put the default text as Patrick. So I can do that. So when I put it out there, it'll be show up as Patrick. Let's also do the same thing on the info, and depending on your subscription level, if you have the ability to create those client detail information up front for your project, you can also use that information to pull into this, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So I have this info open. I can tap on Use Data Field, and in this case I want to use the client name here. So we'll see how that works once we're done. I can define how I want it. Now let's go back and let's go ahead and create this and save it. So now if I come into my shapes, there it is, this client one. If I drop that on the screen, I can come in here and put Bob. Now that info is pre-filling with the client name that I defined at the beginning of the project. I can change that. And then my info is showing a default entry, but of course I can change that as well. So let's just save that, and there you go. So you can see that this is a pretty useful thing if you're, again, going to use some common text or a title block or all those sort of marginalia that you typically add to a diagram. That's all. Thanks.